Now, for the show that brings combat sports stories to life from the great state of Ohio, this is Forged in Ohio.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 48 of Forged in Ohio. My name is Jake Murren, and I'm the host of the podcast. Now, everyone knows that Strong Style is one of the most reputable gyms in the state of Ohio, and I haven't really had many athletes from the fight team on the show, so I'm happy to change that right now here with episode 48. This mixed martial artist made his pro debut on September 9th at Cage Thunder 23 and won via split decision. You may have heard from him on Forged in Ohio's Cage Thunder 23 pro weigh-in show. He had an exciting amateur career, and I'm sure he's got a great backstory as well. It's the one and only Walter Scotty Savane. Thanks for coming on the show, Walter, and welcome to Forged in Ohio.
Thank you, Jake. Thank you for having me, man. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm happy to do this. My first ever interview outside of a fight.
Yeah, I can't believe that with your amateur career. And that 10-minute conversation we had at that Cage Thunder 23 pro weigh-ins, you have a very entertaining personality. So I can't believe you haven't done one of these before.
Yeah, man. I mean, sucks for them, but lucky you, right?
Yes, I suppose so. Forged in Ohio will take it all day. Let's talk about that pro debut win right away, man. How good does it feel to now be an undefeated professional mixed martial artist?
It feels really good. I'm just happy to kind of finally be at this level. It was kind of a testament to all the training that I've been putting in, just all the work throughout the 10-year journey that I've been on, and really it was remarkable for me because my cousin was the one who brought me to MMA, and he never made it to see his pro debut. He fought in NAAFS. His name was Emmanuel Kanga. He's still alive. But yeah, so it was like that was like a really big milestone for me, and everybody was kind of emphasizing like, hey, like you gotta start off your pro career with a win. It'll put you in a good position. So it was kind of important for me to go ahead and make sure I secured the victory. Plus, I don't like to lose anyway.
Was there extra emotions going into this pro debut because of that with your cousin?
I wouldn't say so. No, I think I did kind of look at it as another fight. I was actually a little more excited, to make the debut, just because like as an amateur I was so limited to kind of just like punches and uppercuts and stuff. I couldn't really throw knees that much, knees to the face, elbows, and head kicks, and those are all things like I really like to do, So I think even though I didn't get to fully showcase all of my skills, I think I was just more excited, over any of the emotion that I felt.
Right. I know the fight was earlier this month, but how long did it take for you to come down from that high of winning your pro debut?
Dude, to be honest, I wasn't even happy with it at first, Yeah, it I was actually pretty disappointed, and everybody else was hype around me, I didn't feel like I performed to the best of my capabilities, and I didn't like just not getting the finish, I think I had more expectations for myself. And once I reviewed the footage on Sunday, one of my friends had recorded the entirety of every round. Once I reviewed the footage, I'm like, okay, I actually did good, So I didn't actually have a high of winning. Yeah.
When you look back at the fight, how would you overall just grade your performance out there in the pro debut?
Oh man, I'd give myself like a C plus B minus. It was just could have been more active. Definitely more active. I think if I would have just been a little bit busier on the feet, I would have got him out of there. More spatial awareness. Just overcommitting sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Gave him the opportunity to be able to shoot up under my punches and stuff like that. So, yeah, just and a few other things I won't put out there because I know somebody will be watching.
Yeah, does it give you, I don't know, any confidence maybe that you picked up those lessons, those learning lessons from your pro debut, and that you can apply that moving forward, and you got away with the win, so now you can really develop your game even further as a pro?
For sure, for sure. It was a good test at the end of the day. And yeah, it just like you said, I can, kind of sharpen those tools, sharpen those areas, sharpen myself up in those areas, and show up next time. And I like that I had this type of opponent because he was pretty tough, super strong, um, and he was playing the intimidation game. But it's like, dude, we about to fucking fight, bro. Like, we about to. As soon as the ref says we can fight, you can do whatever you want to me. Whatever's going on in your head, like, you can do it. So I am glad I had this type of experience, and then moving forward to my next one, I can apply it then.
Yeah, I asked you about your opponent, David Richardson, before the fight, and you said that he looked like he ate a ton of bricks. How difficult was it to navigate your way to a decision victory when dealing with a guy who has that type of physique out there?
Damn. So here's the thing, right? So the guy is strong, right? Like there was once, right? Um, I hit him so flush on the chin with a knee because he was shooting for a shot, and he just blasted through it, bro. I'm like, yo, this dude, man, this dude really eat bricks for breakfast, man. Cause like he ate the knee. He felt it, but like I think the adrenaline just overtook it. But yeah, I think he definitely was as strong as he looked, but nothing I haven't felt before. Wasn't anything that made me be like, oh snap, like I'm in for a long night. Like no, like honestly, like him and Chase have similar strength. You know what I'm saying? And Chase isn't built like him, but the technique and stuff like that, like his lack of technique and the skill level that Chase has, it kind of was like on the even playing field. So it just was like, and he didn't really hit that hard. Like he hit me once, and that was it. And like when he punched me, because he punched and shot at the same time, and I'm just like, that's it. Like he's big as hell for no reason, man. So. It is what it is, but it looked good though. Everybody said the same thing. Like, damn, man, dude, big as hell, big as hell. Even before the fight, everybody was like, dude, man, he looked serious. I'm like, yeah, he does. It was so funny, man. It was funny.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you if anything it came as a surprise to you in the cage, whether it was something personally that you did or something that Richardson did. Maybe his toughness was one of those things that maybe caught you by surprise in there.
By surprise. No, nothing really. He didn't surprise me with anything. I didn't underestimate him. A lot of people thought that, like, okay, he can't box, this and that. Like when I studied him, I saw that he improved a lot. Between every fight, and he's a very very active, very busy fighter. But like every time when I watched like his fights in chronological order, I did see progression. So I knew that the fighter that fought back in February or first quarter 2023 isn't the same fighter that was going to show up September 9th. I knew he was going to be a little bit busier. I think just him not being busy on the ground, I think I expected him to kind of just be a little more busy on the ground, but I think he understood that as soon as he gave me space, like I was out of there, and that's just what it was. But besides that, like, again, the only surprises were the ones on my end, just not being as busy as I should have been, and just overcommitting a little bit, and then those other things, that we wrote down in our playbook, you know.
Yeah, and one thing we talked about before the fight as well was your advantages in height and reach in that fight. How much did that come into play for you, just managing range there in the fight?
Could have used it better. Could have used it a lot better. I'm my best when I'm calm. You know, I was pretty calm. But there were some instances where he was like, yeah, come on, let's like. He was acting like he kind of wanted to box with me. He like, yeah, what's up? Like, I'm like, bruh, like, all right, come on, let's do this then. And then my coach was like, hey, no, don't play his game. I'm like, oh fuck. I'm like, all right, let me stop bullshitting. Like, um, but yeah, the height and reach, it played a decent factor, but I had to put pressure on him, because he. Um, I know he wanted to shoot, but that was just part of my game plan. Like, I gotta put the pressure on him. I can fight on the back foot really good. Here in training, like the way I fought September 9th, it's not how I fight here in training. Like, these guys put me on the back foot all night long, bro. It's completely different. But I knew that I had to walk him down. And yeah, there's just a lot more improvements I need to make though in order to kind of use those long weapons, a little more.
Right. Well, at the end of the day, you won via split decision, and the dissenting judge had it 30-27 for your opponent. You also had a 30-27 scorecard in your favor. Do you think you did enough in there to win? And what do you think of that dissenting judge giving it 30-27 to Richardson?
It was crazy. It was crazy because what did he do? He didn't inflict any damage, and like he secured one takedown per round. Only the third round is when he secured two, back to back. But what did he do with the takedowns? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? He didn't. And that's kind of what pissed me off. Just giving the judges a chance to have an opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the better fighter. I'm glad I got the win, but I wanted to showcase that I'm actually on a whole nother level. You know. But it is what it is, man. That's what happens when you give it to the judges, bro. Anything can happen. Anything.
Everything earned, nothing given was something you said in the cage after the win and echoed on social media afterward. Why that particular statement after the pro debut performance?
Brother, because what we do here is so hard. You know what I'm saying? It's hard work. And I got the win, and it was earned. You know what I'm saying? From the blood, sweat. I didn't cry, so no tears, but the blood and all the sweat that I poured in here in the gym, on the mats, and all the time that I've invested to get there, and then to, implement the game plan and to win. Like, a lot of sacrifices were made and everything. A lot of people just don't understand that. They just see you on one night for 15 minutes or 9 minutes if you're an amateur, but people don't be understanding that. And so, like, yeah, I got the win. It should have been more decisive. It should have been unanimous. It should have been a finish. But at the end of the day, I got the win. And that's just what it is. Like, everything was earned. It's been too much work, too much hard work being put in. Like, right now, I just came from work. I have a small business. We do construction and stuff like that. Take a break in the middle of my day. I come up to the gym. I train. I go back to work. I go home, eat, come back to practice at nighttime. I train with the team then, and then I go home at night. So my life has been like this for the last 6 years. You know what I'm saying? Just straight training, since I walked in the strong style. So I think the initial frustration and stuff came from, like, I have some stuff in my past with my father and stuff. He said some stuff that kind of like made me feel like I always needed to finish people, because he said, like, hey, like, only the guys who are built for this are people like Mike Tyson, who can come in and just knock people out. You know what I'm saying? And I told him like, nah, bro, like you don't know what you're talking about. Like, I'm the one doing this sport, not you. You know what I'm saying? But since then, like it always resonated with me. Like a win doesn't feel like a win unless it's been finished. You know. And then when I was declared the winner, like I knew I was a winner already, so I raised my hand. Um, and then the ref raised my hand, but there was a camera guy that was in front of me. He was in the ring, and he shook his head, because I was facing him, So he shook his head. I'm not sure if he was the pay-per-view camera guy or if he was the one recording, but when he shook his head, it bothered me because his perception was what I felt like the whole place's perception was, which it wasn't. But I think that initially kind of like started that. It triggered, that disappointment right away.
Yeah, I appreciate you opening it up here on Forge in Ohio, man. Just a couple questions about like your day to day and going through that grueling process of work, gym, home, gym again. Like, do you have your days where it's kind of hard to get up in the morning, and how do you overcome that mentally of trying to pursue this career in life as a mixed martial artist?
Today is one of them days. Today is definitely days, but you get up, you put one foot in front of the other, and as men, my aunt used to tell me when I was little, a man got to do what a man got to do. She'd make me repeat that, and I never knew what it meant. I would just be saying it, but it's so true. It rings true to this day. Like, you get up, you put one foot in front of the other, you smile, and you just get the job done because you feel better when you go to bed at night knowing that you accomplished something today, And the days where you don't want to go or the days where you don't want to do things are the days you improve the most. Those are the days like you do your best, and I've seen that time and time and time again. So I think it just comes with consistency, man. Once you're just already consistent, you build good habits. It's just hard to break them, I can't not come to the gym. I can't not go to work. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if I don't feel like it, if I'm at home, I feel out of place. I feel like I should be doing something. So that's kind of where it stems from.
Yeah, I love that insight, and I love talking about the mental aspect of this sport with fighters on Forged in Ohio, because I know personally I don't have that mental fortitude that you guys do going in there, stepping in the cage, yet alone putting in camp after camp and doing what you guys do. So I have a tremendous amount of respect for what you guys do. You're talking about strong style a little bit, though. You mentioned that as well. You're only one of a handful of fighters I think that I've had on the show, and at Cage Thunder 23, it was a pretty special night for you, but also for the fight team going 3-0. How exciting was that, competing alongside your teammates and especially going undefeated on the night?
Yeah, man. It's bro. People don't understand, man. When your teammates fight, you're just as nervous as your own fight. That's how stressful it is because we put the work in together. We see each other every day. You know what I'm saying? These guys are really a part of my life. You know what I'm saying? We are a family. When things happen, we're there for each other. Weddings, deaths, birthdays, holidays, cookouts, whatever it is. So you care about this person and you care about what they care about. So when they go out there and succeed, you're just as happy. I mean, if you have a fucking heart, then you're happy for them just as much as you'd be happy for yourself because you know this is what they wanted. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Nico, shout out to Miles. They did their thing out there. Nico was kind of having the same sentiment as me where he wasn't as happy, but it is what it is, man. You sit back and when you reflect on the footage, you like, okay, I've improved in certain areas. I followed the game plan in certain areas. So you know that you listen well. You know what I'm saying? And Miles was the best person for me to have this camp with because Miles, I've been training with Miles since I actually started here at Strong Style. So since I was 0 fights in, like Miles already had like 5 or 6 at that time as an amateur. So since then, like, we've been training together, but there was a time where he took a break and he wasn't training or whatever, and then he came back and just became a dog, top dog for real. Um, when he went pro, he started coming back up to strong style again, and he told me, I think this was before he fought for B2, and that's when I got the notification that I was gonna be turning pro soon. My coaches gave me the okay. He said, "Hey, you know, here's what you need to do. You got to do A, B, and C, and bro, the biggest thing you got to do is you got to fucking go crazy on your conditioning, man. Like, you just got to go crazy, hit that wall early, so that once you get in there, anything happens, you're ready for it. You know what I'm saying?" He gave me so much good advice. Like, I listen to Miles a lot. You know what I'm saying? Then when we're in the back, I'm just it's like he went into like big brother mode in a way. You know, he just like he watching me. I'm like stoic as hell, just staring off into space. He like, "Hey man, you about to do what you love to do. You know, we get to beat people's asses, bro." You know, he jumping around and shit. It's different if you're not fighting. You know, that night, like, yeah, you my teammate, but you're not about to fight. So of course you in a good mood. You ain't about to get punched. He about to get punched after I get punched though.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, like, but you jolly, you happy, you moving around, you cool. I'm like, damn, man. He just kept talking to me, just little shit to me, little shit, just kept my mind at ease, and I thank him a lot. You know what I'm saying? We cut weight together and everything. Like, the entire time we did this camp together. You know, um, and Miles is stronger than Richardson, bro.
Mm-hmm.
He's in a weight class under. Miles is
Yeah.
actually stronger than. So yeah, I was it was just a blessed night altogether. You know, I'm glad we went 3-0 that night, man. It was a good night.
Yeah, and you talk about having Miles as a teammate, and he's talked on Forged in Ohio a ton about finding deep waters and pushing yourself. How much has he done that for you in your career?
Fuck, man, shit. If we just talk about the physical aspect, like, bro, he's on top of you. Miles he's in your face. He's pushing the pace. You know what I'm saying? And like, you can tell he's just going in like 70%, 80%. Like, he's not. We finished the round. He's not out of breath. I catch him with something good. Like, he gets up quick and he's right back on you and puts you on your ass right away. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, like, he's got the wrestling, he's got the hands, he's got the fucking power. Like, man, you know, Miles is a scary dude, and I'm just happy to have him as a training partner, not as an opponent. You know, I still do my thing though, but I would never. I'm talking shit. I'm talking. I wouldn't. But I am happy to just have him as a training partner, just because he's able to push the pace so good. But then after that, like, the mindset behind it, you know, what he's able to just tell you, you know what I'm saying? So you can comprehend. Like, it's just great. Him and AJ, like, them two is like the best, bro, for real.
Yeah, and you have experience cornering AJ, right, in the UFC?
Yeah, man, shoot, that was shit. I'm lost for words, man. That was like the best time of my life. Like, being at a UFC event, shook Dana's hand. Um, yo, like, you watch UFC on TV, but being there, oh man, it's a whole nother level of things. Like, those guys are really good. Like, they're there for a reason. You know what I'm saying? I'm sitting K-side, coaching AJ, and mentally, the guys are like, they're smarter. You know what I'm saying? Than the regional, local level guys. I'm just like, damn, like that shit. And AJ is a beast. Like for AJ to be at his level and for them to go to a decision, I'm like, yeah, that guy is super good. But watching how AJ cut his weight as a professional, you know what I'm saying? Watching how strong he still was, the day before his weight cut. I mean, his final weight cut. His mindset, his mood, all that stuff. Just being up close and personal with the guy was just it motivated me, and it made me concentrate. It made me focus. It put me on like a different level of things when I went out there with AJ, man, because I respect him too, like a big bro for real, and just seeing how he locked in, he zoned in, he didn't talk to anybody, mom, girlfriend, nobody the day of his fight until after he fought. And the night before, like our managers was like, "Hey, come down, come down to the restaurant." All the fighters that are signed to Iridium, we all went. Our manager took us out to eat. AJ is like, "Nah, bro, I gotta lock in. I'll see you guys tomorrow." You know what I'm saying? And he just sat in the locker room. I mean, he sat in his hotel until it was time to fight. Like that's how long he locked himself in there, bro. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like you learned a lot from that experience, but I got to ask, that handshake with the boss man, Dana White, what was that conversation like?
Ooh, it was quick. It was
Yeah.
brief, but I wanted to make sure that when he sees me again, it's a face that he recognizes. You know what I'm saying? It was when AJ won his fight. Dana stood up, he clapped, and we were walking out, and I shook his hand, and I'm like, "Hey, I'll be seeing you soon," and he laughed, and he's like, "Okay," and I'm like, "All right." So I just wanted to make sure that, he recognizes my face when it's time to get on that contender series.
Yes, sir, man. Talking to Walter Scotty Savane on Forged in Ohio. I usually start these by talking about the fighter's story, but I wanted to dive right into that pro debut win in strong style. So, how did this journey get started for you, and how did you end up finding mixed martial arts?
Mixed martial arts, man. So, um, I'll give you the quick version.
Sure.
I was giving my mom a hard time, and just getting into a lot of trouble. She was going through a divorce, so obviously that affected me and everybody in my household. So I kind of just started acting out on that. And um, my cousin, Emmanuel, he obviously was a fighter for NAAFS. He fought for that association multiple times. So um, she called him and she's like, "Hey, like I need your help." You know what I'm saying? And he's like, "Okay, auntie, I got you." Came, he picked me up. He like, "Hey, you want to go to the gym with me?" I'm like, "Sure, whatever." And so we go to the gym. He's like, "Hey, put these gloves on." Put the gloves on, and like he just starts whooping my ass, man, like crazy. You know what I'm saying? There's like an 8-year age gap between us, so he's just beating on me. But I like I was fighting good. And then I hit him up the next day like, "Hey, we going again?" And I he's like he's like, "What the fuck?" So he kept coming to pick me up, and I lost focus for a little bit, and he ended up getting married, moving to California, and I was starting to get back into trouble again. I did like a month in county jail. I had picked up some charges, and like my mom was just crying over the phone. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you gotta stop. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know what you thinking, what you doing, but you gotta stop. So, and then there was a time where like my cousin, like me and like a cousin of mine, we we got into it real bad to the point where like it got pretty ugly. I'll just say that. And like it was in front of his parents and stuff. And so I had to think like, damn, man, I got all this chaos going on in my life. Like, what's missing? I'm like, man, I got to get away from this. So I hit up my cousin. and I was actually on my way to there's a gym, Evolve. I was on my way to Evolve, and I told my cousin like, "Hey, cuz, you know what I'm saying? Sorry I let you down, but I'm gonna pick MMA back up, and I'm actually headed down to Evolve right now." Thankfully, I made that call because Evolve was like in Macedonia or somewhere far as hell. I made that call while I was on the freeway. He's like, "Hey, no, I'm gonna tell you about this other gym. I think it's better fit, for you. You should go there." I'm like, "Okay," and that was Strong Style. So I didn't know shit about Strong Style. I didn't know shit about Stipe. I didn't know shit about anybody. Um, so I walked in here January 7th, 2017, and never looked back.
Yeah, that's incredible, man. So the turning point in your story, it sounds like when you spent that time in jail, right? And then kind of turned everything around, it sounds like.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. All off of a mother's love, man. It works. Yep.
And then when
Yeah.
you first arrive at Strong Style, what were your impressions? You didn't know Stipe, then you meet him, I'm sure. Like, what was the atmosphere like when you first got there?
Um, it was crazy, man. Like life aligns itself perfectly for you when it's time. Like God will open doors for you. I walk in a Strong Style. Um, there's like open sparring for some odd reason today. I'm like, oh shit, all right. But I thought this was normal. So I walk in. I walk in. Um, I had some gear, but I used to wear like sweaters and jogging pants to spar. So I come in, I'm sparring different guys. Spar like a football player. There was this one guy, 6'8", 250 pounds, Ivan Drago. This dude was beating my ass. I sparred Lexa, Cameron. Um, I actually took him down. He put me in a fucking triangle quick as hell, and he's whooping my ass. Darian Peterson, DP. I sparred a lot of guys that day, but I actually had some footage from then. Uh-oh. Did I lose you?
No,
Okay.
you're still there.
Okay. So somebody was recording, and when I at the end of one round, I got dropped. At the end of the last round, I got dropped by the Ivan Drago dude, and I jumped right up. But you see Marcus watching the entire round in the back, like my coach. You see him watching me, and the floor is full of people, but he's just watching me. And then I get dropped, I stand up, he comes over, he's like, "You good?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm ready to go again." He's like, all right. And then you can see him watching me, and practice was over. So um yeah, it's just like it was perfect. I'm like, oh yeah, I like this gym. I want to go back. You know what I'm saying? And look, I wanted to just keep proving myself, just keep proving myself. And it just became mindless. It was, um, it was somewhere to be every day. It wasn't like I'm I'm here to yeah, you're good. I'm not here to work out, pump iron. I'm here like it's a different world. You forget about everything when you're here. And I didn't notice that, but subconsciously I experienced it every time. So yeah, that's just the experience. And then Stipe, um, I learned about Stipe. I think because I first saw him when he wasn't champ. He was in the UFC, but he spoke at an NAAFS event before. But when I saw him for the first time, I'm like, damn, that's a big ass white boy, bro. He like his legs are thick up top. Like even today, still, when you look at Stipe, like physically, he's just like he's just a specimen, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's just built perfectly. You know what I'm saying? And like if you were to fight this guy on the street, like bro, he'd be like problems. You know what I'm saying? Just looking at him, you can tell like yeah, he's problems for sure. So we started sparring. I think like once I got onto the fight team, 8 months in, like I start sparring Stipe and shit. Broke my nose right away. Yep, him. And then it healed. Alexa broke it again. They was fucking my shit up, man. Yeah, man. But since then, I start little by little getting my licks back, little by little.
Man, yeah, I could eat up these gym stories all day, man, but it sounds like you've had a relationship with mixed martial arts since you started. Sometimes you were like fully in and other times you were a little bit out. So, did you have a moment, and I'm sure it came in your amateur career, maybe when you first joined Strong Style, where you felt like this was without a doubt what you wanted to do in life?
Yeah. I think when I first started, man, once I had my first dub, I just loved the training camp, um, and just getting ready for the fights, man. And every time I smoke and get high, like I don't smoke anymore, but when I used to, I'd be like, damn, like bro, I'm in good shape, bro. I'm a fighter, like this is me. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy. I think it really settled in once I won my amateur title. Once I won that amateur, no, actually no, when I won the Golden Gloves championship. When I won that Golden Gloves championship, out of Cleveland, I'm like, I like this, man. I'm actually better than I thought. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't pick myself to win that tournament, and I was decently surprised that I did. So, um, yeah. After that, I'm like, okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going.
Yeah. If I had told the Walter Scotty Savane when you were at your lowest point in your journey before your amateur debut that you would have gone on to have a 5-1 amateur record with that middleweight title, win your pro debut, would you have believed all this was in the cards for you?
No, I wasn't even. My mindset wasn't even here, really. I'd be very surprised. You know. But I always knew I had it in me. I always knew I was a better fighter than a lot of people that I watched. Like I used to do karate when I was a kid. When I first came from Africa, like just I always was in some sort of martial arts. You know what I'm saying? So like I always had it in me, but the confidence was lacking. You know what I'm saying? I just I would have never thought that, but I'd be like, oh yeah, cool. Because I knew I had something in me though. That's the thing. I always knew I had something in me.
Did the confidence come around when you got that pro or that amateur debut win, or when did that confidence finally come in and you believed that this would be what happened to you in your career?
Man, there was I'm not gonna name any names, but
Sure.
some teammates in here. So Marcus, my coach, right? He's crazy. Um, so we did like some tournament style stuff to get on the fight team. Little gloves and everything, like actual fight, referee, everything. So honestly, it was like an unsanctioned fight. Like it's almost like I had 9 fights because I fought 3 guys that same day to get on the team. And before I fought, my coach came to me. He's like, "You nervous?" I'm like, yeah. He's like, "Good. That means you want to win." And when he said that, I'm like, okay, all right. Then I guess I'm not a punk. All right, cool. So I beat those guys. I'm like, damn. What are these? I'm actually pretty, you know. And then so I like there was a couple pros I sparred in the cage, and like I flatlined them. Like I knocked them out, like flatline. You know what I'm saying? Early in my amateur career, I was so wild. All I did was knockout, like because I was wild. I was trying to hurt you with my power, man. Then I sparred Alexa, and he probably might not admit it, but I feel like he had some animosity towards me because I sparred his brother. I mean, I fought his brother to get on the team, and like he kept shooting takedowns on me, but I would underhook and like throw him to the side, and like it hurt his knee, and then I came down with like some hammer fists, you know, and they like no, no, no. So when me and him sparred, um, he was not playing with my ass. You know, so my coach saw me flatlining the other guys. They made me spar Alexa. Man, shit. So we sparring, and he hit me hard. I'm hitting him hard. This is the first time I got my bell rung in my life. He dipped and came up, left hook, right hand. Didn't see the right hand coming. Thought it was gonna be done at the left hook. Left hook, right hand. Wow. Fell on the cage. Everything was like gray, you know, and coach was like, stop. And he like, fuck that. He not stopping. And I saw it like he not stopping. So I started fighting like with whatever I had, you know, cause I knock on wood, I haven't had my shit run that often though, but even since then, but when I saw him coming in, I'm like, I gotta fight. You know, I gotta keep going. So, you know, I stayed on my feet. You know what I'm saying? I made it to the end of the round, and my coach was like, man, that's what I'm fucking talking about. You know what I'm saying? And from there, my confidence shot through the fucking roof, bro. Because this dude is such a tough fighter, and just the evolution coming to training every day, getting better, beating people that used to whoop my ass, getting better in certain positions that I was weak at. Just always consistently getting better and better and better is what like kept making the confidence more and more and more, you know. And then Golden Gloves, I got dropped, you know, for the first time in competition, first and only time. The dude, I was coming in double jab. This end of the third round, I'm about to throw this right hand, and the dude catches me, whoop, and like everybody was like, oh, and in my head, I'm like, oh shit, this dude just got me, bruh. And like I fell to a knee and like I held onto the rope. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, bro, get up. But the body would not. Like your body don't listen to you. You know what I'm saying? You telling it what to do. It's like sleep paralysis. Get up. And it's like, no. And then like the dude, he did the count, and I popped up. You know, I'm like, finally, bro. I'm talking to myself. I'm like, man, you tripping, bro. So he count. I'm like, man, come on, I'm good. Dude come in trying to knock me out, and I'm like, nah, bro. Like I'm on point for sure. So you know, I grabbed him just to make sure I was cool, and then we was back boxing. You know, I put him I put his back against the ropes again. So all of that just adds to the confidence. It's like I get in a tough position and I make it through. I can bet on myself. You know what I'm saying? If even if I'm nervous as hell, I know I'm still gonna perform good. I'm betting on myself. If I get hurt real bad, I'm gonna bet on myself because I know that I can fight through it. You know?
Man, like I said, I could eat up these gym stories all day, and your backstory is truly incredible, man. Once again, this is Walter Scotty Savane with us on Forged in Ohio. Just a few more for you. I know we opened by talking about your pro debut, and you know it's better than being 1-0, being 2-0. So when do you think you're going to be in there next?
Man, listen, I told Case Thunder to just call me, man. I want to get on that December 16th card down at the Civic Center down in Canton. You know, I want to be on that card. Hopefully there's a lot of us strong style guys, and we'll all be showing you love. I'm going to make sure that they do. You know what I'm saying? We all going to be showing you love. But, yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm already back in the gym. I took a week, but I was still coming in just to watch the guys spar. I'm back on the floor sparring. You know, I'm going to live the life of a martial artist for the rest of my life. This is just going to be me. You know, this is that and prayer. These are the two things that are always going to be in my life. You know, one day if I stop doing MMA, I'm going to roll into jiu-jitsu. Once I'm finished and can't do jiu-jitsu anymore, I'm going to be coaching now. You know what I'm saying? But this is going to be my life forever.
Yeah, for sure, man. So Cage Thunder 24, December 16th from the Canton Civic Center. How exciting is the thought of just fighting among that or in that arena and having so many fans there in attendance watching you fight?
Bro, I'm a performer, man. Like, I do my best in front of big crowds. Like, I didn't know that about myself, but I like people watching me. I'm not a big talker. I'm a big doer. You know what I'm saying? I love getting in there, mixing it up in front of people. And man, that's gonna be crazy. Just having all those people watching me. I don't even know how like it's gonna affect me. It's crazy. I haven't wrestled like Chase where he's already been in front of hella people. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be my first time, but hopefully the result just remains the same, man. Knock them down and move on to that next one. I wanna get all the experience that I can, and then I'm looking to get on that contender series, man, ASAP, for real.
Yeah, how active
Yeah.
are you trying to be now that you are pro and the pro debut is under your belt?
Oh man, I want to be as active as possible. 3 or 4 fights a year if I can do. That's something that I'm looking forward to. So we're gonna do these 2 back to back, and then I think I'm gonna take a little bit of time to develop my skill set. Um, and just kind of rest the body a little bit, and then get after it again. Hopefully if I can get to 5 by September of next year, I'll be happy. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, like, bro, y'all gotta call me, man. I need that contender series fight because I be watching this shit and I be like, bruh, like before I used to watch it and be like, damn, like them guys is good. You know what I'm saying? But now I'm like, bruh, no, like, bro, watch me. So, but I gotta round the skill set out and work on some things that I really want to work on and improve on. And then yeah, they're gonna call me. They're gonna call me for sure.
How many fights do you think it'll take for you to reach that big stage and potentially get on the contender series?
4 or 5, man.
Yeah.
Real. And I used to have this slogan when I first started my amateur career. It was always let that dog out, you know. But when I suffered my first loss, it was because I was only focused on that dog. I wasn't smart, So I kind of put the dog in the cage, put it on the leash. It's time to let him back out, though. That bitch got to come back out. I haven't been fighting like that, and a lot of guys haven't been seeing that. But yeah, it's time. It's about to be scary hours in a minute, for real.
Yeah, I love it, and I'm looking forward to it. Is that your biggest goal in your career right now, to make it to the UFC, to make it to the contender series?
Yes, that's right now. Yes, that's my biggest goal is to have UFC printed, you know, um, on my shorts next to my name. You know what I'm saying? That's like me and my granddad used to watch that shit together. And I always used to tell him when I was young, like, granddad, I can beat them. Like, granted that was like back in like the Rampage days, Sugar Rashad Evans and all of them. Like, people weren't as good as like we are today. You know what I'm saying? But hell yeah, I want to get there, man. I want people to be able to watch me. I want to see myself how I perform on that series, and I wanna add some flavor, man, to the middleweight division. You know what I'm saying? I know when I come in, they gonna, oh, John Jones, oh, Izzy. I take it all, man. All those guys are great, so I'll take it all. But y'all gonna know Walter Savane, bro, in a minute. That's what it's gonna be.
Yeah, man. And what are some of your other goals in your career? I know making it to the UFC right now is probably number one, but I've talked to some fighters that like to write them down. Have you thought about how your career might play out long term?
Nah, I haven't. I think it's pretty sad, but I think this is the first time I actually thought about it. I just be doing this shit, man. I think I'd like to be champion, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'd like to fight in Africa. You know what I'm saying? When the hell are we gonna do that? Like, that would be nuts. You know what I'm saying? I'd like to get on the main card, pay-per-views. Yeah, bro, I haven't really thought about that shit. It's crazy. Next time we do this, I'll have better answers for you. But yeah, I haven't thought about that shit at all. I've just been focused on training,
Yeah.
man. Want to get at a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
That's what my focus is right now.
Right. Living in the present, man. I totally get it. And, you know, I feel like going to Africa for the UFC has been a thing for a while now. So maybe by the time you get there in a year or so, the timing could work out for that. So that would be pretty cool as well. Well, before we wrap up, anything you want to shout out, whether it be social media handles, sponsors, things going on at Strong Style, man, the floor is yours.
Hey, thanks everybody for supporting me. I promise you one thing, anytime I step in that cage, I'm going to give you my all. There's not going to be nothing left at the gym or at home. I'm coming in there 100% committed and focused. Otherwise, I'm not stepping into that cage. Shout out to Strong Style MMA. Shout out Forged in Ohio. Shout out to Cage Thunder. All you guys for supporting me and just having my back. Shout out to this guy hitting the bag, putting that work in. He fucking distracted me, but and shout out Scotty's Project LLC. This was named after my brother. He passed away. Was killed due to gun violence. You know, and God rest his soul. So yeah, wants to support me. I'm definitely open to him, man. So yeah, thanks for having me, bro. And anytime you need me, whatever you need from me, you know, I'll get it done. And I'll put the bug in Stipe's ear again. I'll be seeing him either tomorrow, and I'll make sure you guys can get together.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that, and thanks for just joining me on the show. I think you're one of the brightest up-and-comers in the state of Ohio, and I can't wait to see how you build off that pro debut. I gotta ask for one more thing before I let you go. I always end these chats here on Forged in Ohio with the OHIO chant. So, OH...
I-O!
Yes, sir. Thanks, Walter. Thanks again for joining me. It was a pleasure to watch you fight in person earlier this month, and let's do this again after another fight or two, man.
Anytime, brother. Just let me know, man. Thanks for having me, bro.
That was Walter Scotty Savane, the 1-0 professional mixed martial artist. He had an impressive amateur career, going 5-1 with an amateur title, and now will attempt to start a winning streak in what will be his second pro fight. Hopefully that comes sooner rather than later, as the Ohio MMA scene thrives when you have young, talented fighters like Walter stay active. I can't thank him enough for coming on the show, and I can't thank you enough for watching on YouTube or listening on the audio side. Don't forget to download episodes wherever you listen to podcasts, and go subscribe to the Forged in Ohio YouTube channel. You can also find the podcast on both Instagram and Facebook at Forged in Ohio as well. Thanks again for watching or tuning in. I've been your host, Jake Murren, and this was Forged in Ohio.